Because in order for me to be intimate with her, I must first be intimate with myself. And I'm denied that intimacy by my mother being stressed in the 3rd trimester.
Can I ask you a question? A quick question.
A quick question. No 3 parts.
Yeah. So in terms of the 3rd trimester, so I was looking at this is South Africa.
In terms of the 3rd, they don't hear you. I'm repeating. In terms of the 3rd trimester.
Mother being stressed.
Yes.
So during apartheid, his parents left South Africa and they came to England. They had
a child was abandoned.
4 children. No, they had 6 children. 1 died, but 5.
But this child was abandoned.
No, they weren't abandoned.
Was their mother and father with them at all times?
Finish. So, no, they weren't. The father wasn't with them all the time.
That's abandoned.
But 3 of them passed away. So these are 4 siblings died, and 2 are alive.
See, this is going longer. Remember, she said that's 1 question. Actually gone into 3 generations. That's 1 question.
But also his cousin, it's the same statistics. And we were trying to work out how it is that, you know, so many siblings in one family would pass away. Well, so the question is could it be linked to the fact that the stress they would have gone through during apartheid?
That's physiologically correct. She's saying that there's certain things, a social situation that you're in can cause you to be in dire stress. It's an impact on your system, which we call imprinting forever. So in dire stress, you want to get out of it quick as possible, so you want quick burning energy, so you would have a tendency to eat sugar. And you see what I'm saying? You're angry about it, so you have a tendency to eat salt and crunchy food, chips, crisps. All of this is reflected in your diet, which reflects the impact of how you experience life for the first time. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what you're saying. And you use abandonment. I use the term. It was rather harsh, but that's abandonment. And we like abandoned children. That culture has abandoned them. Superman was abandoned by his mother and father. Still following? Jesus was abandoned by his father. Why have you forsaken me? You remember on the cross thing? We like abandoned children. Cinderella, that heifer was abandoned. All of these children's stories are about abandoned children. And that's why we like them, because we've been abandoned by our culture. You're culturally homeless. Our culture's not here for us readily. We can't use an African ritual and ceremony of birthing our children in a hospital. You know that. We don't teach our children in the African system. You teach solar sciences when the sun is up high. Mathematics is taught then at noon, not in the morning. We don't even teach in African arithmeticity. I don't want to get you bored with all this science stuff. I'm going to talk about sugar in a minute. And salt in a minute, okay? I'm trying to say that we gotta be in charge of our whole living process. We gotta go back to breastfeeding, because breastfeeding is an extension of growth and development of the emotions. The baby's not always sucking on the breast for nourishment. The baby sucks on the breast to find out the tension in the mother's breast when somebody calls her a bitch. You follow what I'm saying? It's an extension of intelligence. You looking at it as breast milk. No, the baby's learning. Babies don't suck the breast, first of all. That's something men do. I mean, no. Men suck. Sorry, I didn't mean to go there. The babies chew the breast. It's physiologically impossible for them to suck the breast. They chew it. And there's an oil secreted so they won't bite the nipple too hard. That oil comes from the areola. The brown around the nipple secretes oil that lubricates the nipple so the nipple can slip in and out of the baby's mouth so they won't hurt the mother's nipple. Do you need a demonstration? Everything becomes clear when you apply science to it. But if you're just applying art to it, you won't understand it, because every art has a science. Dancing to you is art, but dancing is mathematics. Am I going too far with this? Every art has a science, every science has an art. And you have to see both of them to understand the subject matter. If I want to understand her, I have to see her father in her to understand her. If all I see is her mother, I'm only dealing with half of her life. You got to see that. You got to see the bipolarness in everything. Because everything is bipolar. High blood pressure, low blood pressure. Smart people, dumb people. Daytime, nighttime. Everything is bipolar. When someone says they have a bipolar illness, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because everything is bipolar. You are bipolar by definition. One pole is your mother, the other pole is your father. If you just see a woman and you just see her mother, what about her father? You're only loving half of her life. That's because we're into this chauvinistic system of history. You study history, you study men. You study religion, you study men. Are you still with me? Everything's so male-centered, you don't get it. You just don't get it. You're deprived of your whole understanding. Because you're looking at everything through a man's eyes, a man's perspective, you see? Men wore high heels, not women. They were rich and they wanted to stand above the peasants, so they wore high heels. That's why women wear high heels, because they want to dress up as as someone sexually challenged. Someone sexually challenged so that she could appeal to the Greek men, and you know Greeks were freaks. Right? I didn't mean to go there. I'm trying to be educated. That's what my grandmother called me. Because I was the first person to go to college, and this is ancient stuff. I come out of what you call segregation, what you would call apartheid. It was in South Africa. Colored fountain, white fountain. Colored pool, white pool. Colored. That's where I come from. That whole thing. I was not raised with a television. That's new stuff to me. We didn't have telephones. That's new stuff to me. My mother got a telephone and I made a lot of money. I charged kids a nickel to come in and see my mother's telephone. It was clear. It was sitting there they looking at it. That's the telephone. And they said, yeah. Nickel. The damn thing rang and we got scared and ran out the room. I didn't mean to go there. I'm educated. Grandma said I'm educated. So we're just trying to separate the real from the real. Understand we're dealing with myths and superstitions of the European. That's all a science book is about. You go through the book, you say theory this, theory that, theory that. You say, where's the damn facts? There's none. Lawyers are studying rituals and ceremonies. They're not studying the law. They just give it another name and fool you. That's all we're doing. A ritual is a set way of doing something. That's all. It's a set way. I say hello to you. You say hello to me. That's a greeting ritual. And if we add music to it and dancing, now it's a greeting ceremony. Those are the only two behaviors a human being can have. No matter how stupid you think the other animals are, they looking at you and say, well, you doing the same thing we doing. Move, move. You know, because all they're doing is rituals and ceremonies. And that's all you're doing. Despite what you call it. And you have the audacity to think you know the whole subject with your arrogant European education. Arrogant would become when we get educated by them. And they tell you, I don't understand the whole subject, I only have a degree of understanding. They tell you that. I'm going to give you a bachelor's degree, I'm going to give you a master's degree, because they don't know the whole subject. They're telling you the facts. We're so sick, I want my master's degree, I want a master's degree. Negro, please. You're getting a degree of understanding. That's all you're getting. Not 360, just a degree. To educate yourself in this situation, you got to do it after you get out of school. You got to do it at home on your own, because you're not going to get it in an institution. Not at all. You go home and open that book. You go home, go on YouTube and see these great black people. Go home. That's when you get educated. You're not going to get it in their schools. Their schools were designed for them, and by them, and for them. I have a lot of, I'm not putting down that you got a master's degree from your master. Some of y'all even got a master bedroom. You're so sick. We all been miseducated. It's no big problem. I need to be structured. Where's my wife? I shouldn't be left unsupervised. Do I keep talking? Do I keep talking? Okay. I went to husband school. I flunked the first 2 times. Don't call it divorce or whatever. So, what we're trying to do is just look at things for what they are. And we understand dire stress decreases the blood to your digestive system. That's why black people have gastric reflux reaction, diseases of their pancreas and liver, because their digestive system deprived of nutrients in the blood because it decreased when they're in dire stress. That's why we have disease of the immune system. You can call it chikungunya, you can call it AIDS, you can call it whatever you want, because the immune system got decreased nourishment because the blood supply went down, so they got out of the crisis. That's why we have problems with the reproductive system, enlarged prostate, fibroid tumors, because under stress, the nourishment to the reproductive system is decreased, basically shut down. So that system will fall apart. That's the respiratory system, remember I said, with the kidneys, dialysis. If you look at the whole thing, you'll say, this race is in dire stress. That's just plain physiology. No miracle in it at all. We're in dire stress. That's what we are. But if you didn't know that, you wouldn't be trying to heal yourself. Now you know, now you can do something about it. You say, I'm getting ready to talk to a coconut. I better go to therapy. I better nourish myself. Because some people you talk to just drain you of energy. They're tiresome. I'm telling you. So you got to understand the emotionality. You either have emotional scar, emotional injury, or you're emotionally damaged. Damaged. You know, you have a relationship and you say, well, in a relationship, I did that and it didn't work. You get another relationship, you say, well, I did that and it didn't work. You're damaged. So you just don't do it no more. And the other person saying, you can do that with me, but since you're so damaged, you won't even try it. The emotional scar is what you would call today PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. You heard that? That's just the effect of something that happened to you. I don't know why to use that big term. You can have post-traumatic ignorance disorder. You can have post-traumatic happiness disorder. The imprint is just on you of how you were happy. Oh, yeah, okay, thanks.
From your commander.
People write in hieroglyphics. I wish I knew what this was. Oh yes, I do have books. I write books. I got 9 books out there. One is the Revised African Holistic Health, which is now 700 pages. I wrote that book when I was 30. I'm 72 now. So I revised the thing. I have another book, Controlling and Understanding Black Children. I tell you what they should know when they're 1 month old, 2 months old, how to get rid of diaper rash, how to get rid of the child trying to cuss you out, how to know when your child is lying to you. I tell you the secrets of communication. You can tell when they lie. Not that your children are lie to you. That's a lie. Outside the book. My wife knows my book. Lord help me. Holistic self-diagnosing, where I teach you with pictures how to diagnose yourself through your tongue, your teeth, your hair, your fingernails, your toenails, your posture. Teach you all the ancient diagnosing systems. That's when I teach you how we use math in a spiritual way. And I go through African mathematics.